Hey everyone, ready to ace that radio technician interview?
We're here to help you do just that.
We're diving deep into RoleCatcher's guides, kind of like your ultimate interview cheat sheet.
Yeah, giving you the inside scoop on common questions.
Smart answers, and even how RoleCatcher's AI can, give you that extra edge.
It's a really cool field, you know?
Yeah.
Blending hands-on technical stuff with the ever-changing world of communication tech.
Okay, so let's start with the basics.
Sure.
What exactly does a radio technician do day to day?
So imagine you're the maestro of all this radio equipment, making sure everything's running smoothly, you know?
Yeah.
From little handheld radios to these massive communication systems.
Wow.
It's all got to be in perfect harmony, right?
Right.
You're installing, testing, maintaining, repairing all these systems, basically ensuring the smooth and effective communication.
So it's pretty hands-on.
Oh yeah, very hands-on.
And it sounds like you need some serious problem-solving skills.
Definitely. Got to be able to think on your feet.
Okay, that paints a pretty good picture.
Yeah.
But where would you actually be doing all this?
Right.
What's the typical work environment?
Well, that's the exciting part. Radio technicians work everywhere.
Really?
Yeah. Traditional office settings, busy workshops. You could even be outdoors at remote locations.
Like what?
Out in the field. Totally. Think oil rigs, remote research stations.
Wow, that's a lot of variety.
It keeps things interesting. You got to be adaptable.
For sure. So who are you interacting with on a daily basis?
Lots of different people.
Okay.
Supervisors, colleagues, and of course, the clients.
Right, the people who rely on these communication systems.
Exactly. So good communication and teamwork are super important.
Got it. So let's talk about the career itself.
Okay.
What's the outlook like for aspiring radio technicians?
Well, the job market's looking really good right now.
That's good to hear.
Lots of opportunities. The demand for skilled radio technicians is going up because wireless communication just keeps growing.
So you're entering a field with a lot of potential.
Absolutely, and there's tons of room for growth, too.
Oh, like what?
You could move into supervisory roles, specialize in areas like radio frequency engineering, or even go back to school and get some more education to really level up your skills.
So there's a path for everyone.
Yeah, whether you love hands-on work or want to get super specialized.
I like it. But let's be real. Every job has its pros and cons.
Definitely.
So what are some of the perks and challenges of being a radio technician?
Good question. Well, on the plus side, you're in high demand. So you have a lot of choices when it comes to industries.
Okay.
You're working with the latest and greatest technology, solving tough problems, and you get that satisfaction of actually building and fixing things with your own hands.
I bet that's really rewarding.
It is. And of course, the career advancement we talked about is a huge plus.
Makes sense. So what about the flip side?
Right. Well, it can be physically demanding at times.
Okay, how so?
You might find yourself climbing up high, working in tight spaces, and there's potential exposure to radiation that you have to be careful about.
Right. Safety first.
Always. And technology is constantly evolving, so you got to keep learning and updating your skills.
So you got to be a lifelong learner.
Pretty much. The learning never stops.
Okay, I think we've got a good handle on the role itself.
Yeah.
So it's time to tackle those interview questions.
Let's do it.
RoleCatcher has a ton of them, but let's focus on a few key ones to get us started.
Sounds good.
First up, the classic. What inspired you to pursue a career as a radio technician?
The classic origin story.
Yeah. So what's the best way to answer that?
Don't just give a boring, generic answer.
Okay.
Really think about what got you excited about technology.
Just like a personal story.
Exactly. Maybe you were obsessed with radios as a kid, or maybe there was a project you worked on that sparked your curiosity.
I like that. Make it personal.
Yeah. Let them see your passion for the field.
Okay, so what about follow-up questions?
Right.
Like, what if they ask, what aspects of radio technology excite you the most?
That's where you can really geek out a little.
Haha, I like it.
Talk about the specific areas within radio technology that you find fascinating.
Like what?
It could be anything, like troubleshooting those really complex systems, working with the latest wireless protocols, or even designing totally new communication solutions.
Cool, so show them you're not just here for the paycheck. You're genuinely interested in the tech.
Exactly. Enthusiasm goes a long way.
All right, next question. How do you stay current with all the latest radio technologies and advancements?
Yes, the lifelong learning question.
Got to stay ahead of the curve, right?
Absolutely. So talk about the resources you use to keep your skills sharp.
Okay, like what?
Industry conferences and workshops are great.
Yeah,
And there are tons of online courses these days.
sure.
And even personal projects. If you've been tinkering with stuff on your own, definitely mention that.
So show them you're proactive.
Yeah, you're not just waiting for someone to tell you what to learn. You're actively seeking it out.
Makes sense. And I bet they might follow up with, can you share an example of a recent technological advancement in the field that caught your attention?
For sure. They want to see that you're paying attention to what's happening in the industry.
So have an example ready.
Yeah, talk about a new technology that impressed you, maybe a research paper you read or a cool new product that came out.
Okay, so let's get a little more technical.
Right, bring on the tech.
How would you approach this one? How do you troubleshoot and diagnose radio communication issues?
Okay, so this is where you show off your technical chops.
Show them what you know.
Exactly. Walk them through your process, how you systematically approach a problem.
So like a step-by-step thing.
Exactly.
Okay.
You could mention specific tools you use, like a spectrum analyzer.
To detect interference.
Yep. Or maybe network monitoring software for remote diagnostics.
So,
The key is to highlight your analytical thinking and those problem-solving skills.
so I'm guessing a good follow-up there would be, what tools or techniques do you find most effective in identifying the root cause of a communication problem?
You got it. Be ready to discuss specific tools, diagnostic techniques, software, all that good stuff.
Okay,
Explain why you like them, why you think they're effective.
awesome. All right, let's switch gears a bit.
Sure.
What about this question? How do you ensure that radio equipment is maintained and serviced regularly?
This one's all about showing how organized you are
Okay.
and how much you know about keeping things running smoothly.
Preventative maintenance?
Exactly. Describe your approach.
So like setting up schedules for routine checks?
Yeah, and keeping detailed records.
Okay.
Making sure you're following all the safety regulations.
So you're not just fixing things when they break, you're preventing them from breaking in the first place.
Right. That's the key to maximizing performance and preventing those costly downtime situations.
Gotcha. I bet they could follow up with, can you share an example of a preventative maintenance measure you would take to ensure optimal equipment performance?
Most likely. Have a specific example ready.
Like what?
You could talk about cleaning connectors, calibrating equipment, updating firmware,
Yeah.
things like that. Explain why those measures are important and how they help keep everything running smoothly in the long run.
Awesome. Let's move on to a question that really digs into your experience.
Okay, hit me with it.
Describe a time when you worked on a complex radio communication project.
Yeah.
How did you approach the project, and what were the outcomes?
The project deep dive.
Time to shine.
Exactly. This is your chance to show off those problem-solving skills, how you work in a team, how you handle challenges.
So choose a project that really showcases your abilities.
Yeah, something complex, something challenging.
I'm in.
Explain your approach, how you analyzed the requirements, came up with solutions, overcame obstacles, and of course, what the positive outcomes were.
So don't just say what you did, explain how you did it.
Right. And the results you achieve.
And I'm guessing a good follow-up would be, what did you learn from that experience, and how would you apply it to future projects?
You're on a roll. Be ready to talk about the lessons learned.
What worked, what didn't work?
Exactly. Show that you're able to reflect on your experiences and constantly improve.
Growth mindset.
Yeah, and emphasize your adaptability and willingness to take on new challenges.
Awesome. Now, this is a lot of information.
It is.
But don't worry, this is where RoleCatcher's AI can be a real game changer.
It's like having a secret weapon in your back pocket.
I like the sound of that. So, how can RoleCatcher's AI help with interview prep?
Well, it's amazing.
Okay.
It can analyze specific job descriptions
Oh, wow.
and then tailor your answers to match exactly what they're looking for.
So instead of giving generic answers, you can really personalize them to impress the interviewer.
Exactly. It's all about standing out from the crowd.
I like it.
Yeah.
And what about feedback? Can the AI help with that too?
Oh, yeah. The feedback is super valuable.
Okay.
It can analyze your practice answers
Oh, cool.
and pinpoint areas where you can improve, which can really boost your confidence.
That makes sense. It's like having a personal coach.
Kinda. It helps you craft those winning responses.
Awesome. So you've got the questions, the approaches, and the AI tools to support you.
Yep, you're well on your way to interview success.
But wait, there's more. Stay tuned for the next part of our deep dive where we'll explore career paths, certifications, and everything else you need to know to land your dream job as a radio technician.
Welcome back. Ready for more interview practice?
Oh yeah, hit me with those tough questions.
All right, let's say you get asked this. Describe a time when you had to troubleshoot a radio communication issue remotely.
Okay.
How did you approach the issue, and what were the outcomes?
Remote troubleshooting sounds tricky.
It can be. They want to see if you can handle problems even when you're not physically there.
Right. Makes sense.
So think about a time when you successfully solved an issue remotely
Okay.
and walk them through your process.
Like, what did you do first?
Exactly. What communication tools did you use?
Okay.
What diagnostic steps did you take?
Right.
And how did you guide the person on the other end to fix the problem?
So it's not just about technical skills, it's also about communication
Absolutely. You got to be clear and concise.
and patient, probably.
Yeah, patience is a virtue in remote troubleshooting.
I bet they'll ask about the challenges too.
Oh, for sure.
Like, what were some of the unique challenges of troubleshooting remotely,
Right.
and how did you overcome them?
That's your chance to show off your adaptability and resourcefulness.
Okay, I like it.
Talk about the limitations of working remotely.
Like not being able to see the equipment firsthand.
Exactly. And explain how you worked around those limitations.
So did you rely on detailed descriptions?
Maybe, or maybe you used remote access tools.
Okay.
Or maybe you really know your stuff when it comes to system logs and diagnostics.
Right, use your knowledge to your advantage.
Exactly. Show them you can think outside the box.
All right, let's talk cybersecurity.
Okay, a critical topic these days.
For sure. How would you answer this one? How do you ensure that radio communication systems are secure and protected from cyber threats?
This is where you demonstrate your understanding of security best practices.
So what are some key things to mention?
Talk about encryption protocols, for one.
To secure the data, right?
Yep. Firewalls are important too, to prevent unauthorized access.
Okay.
And strong password policies, of course.
Makes sense. Those are the basics.
Yeah, but don't just list them. Explain how you've used them.
So if you've implemented or managed these security measures in the past, definitely highlight that.
Exactly. Give them real-world examples.
I'm sure they'll have follow-up questions about specific threats.
Oh, yeah, they'll want to see how you think on your feet.
Like, what if they ask, can you give an example of a potential cyber threat to a radio communication system and how you would mitigate it?
Have an example ready, something specific.
Okay, like what?
You could talk about a denial of service attack, where someone tries to disrupt communication.
Oh yeah, those are nasty.
Or maybe an attempt to intercept sensitive data.
Okay, scary stuff.
Right. So explain how you'd prevent or mitigate those threats.
What would you do?
It depends on the specific threat, but you can talk about intrusion detection systems.
To catch those bad guys?
Yeah. Or maybe regularly updating security software.
Right. Got to stay up to date.
And vulnerability assessments are important too, to find any weaknesses in the system.
Okay, so lots of ways to stay ahead of those cyber threats.
Exactly. It's an ongoing battle.
All right, let's switch gears again and talk about leadership.
Okay, I like where this is going.
How would you answer this? Describe a time when you had to lead a team of technicians on a radio communication project.
Okay.
How did you approach the project, and what were the outcomes?
This is all about showcasing those leadership skills.
Show them you can rally the troops.
Exactly. So choose a project where your leadership really made a difference.
Okay.
And describe how you managed the team.
Did you delegate tasks effectively?
Yes. How did you communicate with the team? Okay.
Did you address challenges head on?
Right.
And of course, what were the positive outcomes?
So what did you accomplish?
Exactly. Highlight your ability to motivate and inspire your team.
Makes sense. And I'm sure they'll ask about the challenges you faced.
Oh, for sure.
Like, what were some of the challenges you faced in leading the team, and how did you overcome them?
Be ready to discuss any hurdles you encountered, whether it was personality clashes, technical difficulties, or those unexpected roadblocks that always seem to pop up.
Right, because nothing ever goes perfectly according to plan.
Exactly. So explain how you navigated those challenges, highlighting your problem-solving skills, how you communicated effectively, and how you kept the team motivated.
So show them you can handle the pressure.
Yep. Leadership isn't always easy.
Okay, let's shift focus to regulations.
All right, got to know the rules of the game.
Exactly. How would you answer this question? How do you ensure that radio communication systems comply with all the regulatory requirements? This one's all about showing you understand the legal and technical frameworks.
So it's not just about the tech, it's about knowing the rules.
Right. Start by highlighting your knowledge of relevant regulations.
Okay.
Like, for example, in the U.S., you'd mention the FCC.
The Federal Communications Commission.
Yeah, they set the standards and allocate radio frequencies.
So you got to know what they say.
Absolutely. And explain how you stay updated on any changes to those regulations.
How do you do that?
There are industry publications, online databases, professional organizations, lots of resources out there.
Okay, so stay informed.
Yes, and then give a specific example of how you've ensured compliance in the past.
So show them you walk the walk, not just talk the talk.
Exactly. Compliance is crucial. It's about ensuring safety and responsible use of radio technology.
All right, we've covered a lot of ground with these interview questions.
We have. Feel like we've tackled some of the toughest ones out there.
I think so.
Oh,
Practice makes perfect, right?
absolutely. The more you rehearse your answers, the more confident you'll feel.
And don't forget, RoleCatcher's AI can be a huge help with practicing.
It's like having a personalized interview coach.
So you've got the questions, the approaches, and the AI tools to support you.
You're well on your way to interview success.
But wait, there's even more to explore. Stay tuned for the final part of our deep dive where we'll dive into career paths, certifications, and all the other essential ingredients for a successful career as a radio technician. We're back for the final part of our radio technician interview prep.
And we're shifting gears a bit.
Yeah, we've tackled the tough questions.
Right.
Now it's time to talk about building a solid foundation for your career.
Like a roadmap to success.
Exactly. So where do we begin?
Well, the RoleCatcher Career Guide really emphasizes hands-on experience.
Even before you get the job.
Yeah, even before.
So how can aspiring technicians get that experience?
Internships are a great option.
Okay.
You can find them at radio stations, telecommunications companies, even electronics repair shops.
So you can actually apply what you've learned.
Exactly. It's all about getting those practical skills.
And what about volunteering?
Volunteering's awesome. You can get involved with community radio projects or join an amateur radio club.
So you're giving back to the community while also gaining experience.
Exactly. Plus, you get to network with people in the industry.
That's a win-win. Now, what about certifications? Are those important in this field?
Definitely. They show employers that you have the knowledge and skills they're looking for.
So which ones are worth getting?
The RoleCatcher Guide highlights a few key certifications.
Like what?
Well, the FCC General Radio Telephone Operator License is a must-have.
The FCC, that's the Federal Communications Commission, right?
Yeah, they regulate radio communications in the U.S.
Okay, so what does that license tell employers?
It shows them you understand the regulations, operating procedures, all the technical stuff.
So that's definitely at the top of the list.
For sure. And then there's the Certified Electronics Technician Certification, or CET.
What does that one cover?
It's all about electronics knowledge and skills. Troubleshooting, repairing, all that good stuff.
Makes sense. Got to have a solid foundation in electronics for this career.
Absolutely. And if you're interested in broadcasting, there's the Certified Broadcast Networking Technologist Certification, or CBNT.
What's that all about?
It focuses on networking technologies used in broadcasting,
Interesting.
like digital audio, video transmission, IP-based systems.
So there are specialized certifications depending on what you want to do.
Exactly. You can really tailor your credentials to your career goals.
Now, the RoleCatcher Guide also talks about career advancement.
It does. And one of the key takeaways is the importance of continuous learning.
Got to stay ahead of the curve, right?
Absolutely. Technology is always evolving.
So how can radio technicians keep up?
Take continuing education courses, go to workshops, read industry publications.
Okay, so never stop learning.
Exactly. It's the key to staying relevant and competitive.
And as you gain experience, you can start looking at advancement opportunities.
Right. You can move into supervisory roles, lead teams of technicians.
Okay. Or even specialize in a particular area, like radio frequency engineering.
And of course, there's always the option of going back to school.
Yeah, a degree in electrical engineering, telecommunications, something like that can open up even more doors.
So many possibilities.
Yeah.
We've covered a lot of ground in this deep dive.
We have, from interview questions to career paths to certifications.
It feels like we've given aspiring radio technicians everything they need to succeed.
And don't forget RoleCatcher's AI.
Right. That can help you tailor your answers, get feedback, and boost your confidence.
It's your secret weapon for interview prep.
So to all you aspiring radio technicians out there, remember, preparation is key.
Get those hands-on experiences, pursue those certifications, and never stop learning.
The world of radio technology is full of exciting challenges and rewarding opportunities.
Good luck in your job search. We're rooting for you.